Welcome along to the kitchen. My name's Martin and today we are looking back in the history books and doing some food. We're looking at a recipe from World War II and this is history food.
History food!
So obviously during the war rationing was rife. People were making what they could with what they had in the kitchen. Potatoes and carrots seem to feature a lot, as does oatmeal, grains, that type of thing. This one's called Victory Sponge, right? And I thought I'd give this one a go today because it looks mad, right? It's just this little section here. I can find nothing about it online, so I'm assuming that this is one out of the archives that probably just fell into obscurity. So the basis of this one is a jam sponge pudding. I'm actually going to steam this one, so I'm a bit intrigued as to how the texture is going to turn out. Being that this is an old recipe, some of the measurements are a little bit obscure. So in the first instance, what the recipe asks for is one large raw potato. Now, I don't know the average size of a raw potato back in the war, so I've got this one. I'm going to grate this one up. If it's not quite enough, I can add another little one as well. Kitty! Meow! So we've grated our carrot, so we've grated our potato, and I reckon that's probably enough. I mean, I don't know what I'm basing that off of, purely guesswork. We'll ship this into our bowl, our nice mixing bowl we've got here. The next thing we need to do is 2 medium carrots. Again, I don't know what a medium carrot constitutes, but I reckon something about that. Oops. Carrot, you see what I'm trying to do here? I'm just trying to make a sponge pudding. Carrots. 2 medium carrots. Let's peel and grate them. Hey! You're so strong. The recipe calls for 1 breakfast cup of breadcrumbs. I had to do a little bit of digging to find out what a breakfast cup was, but apparently it's roughly a 300 milliliter measure. So by volume, I reckon that's about 2 slices of bread. Well, I think I've made sufficient less of that. And just to double check, I just want to chuck this in our jug and make sure I'm getting this about where we need to be with the 300 milliliter mark. I don't know if this will be able to pick it up, but that is pretty much spot on 300 milliliters volume of breadcrumbs there. So that will go into our bowl as well. Potatoes, carrots and breadcrumbs. Not what I'd imagine to be starting a cake off with. But here we are, we're giving it a go. I think this is interesting. The next thing we need is 1 tablespoon of self-raising flour. 1 tablespoon of self-raising flour doesn't seem like an awful lot to me. That's literally it for the flour. That's nothing at all. 2 tablespoons of caster sugars up next. Now I guess this would have been quite indulgent back in the day, sugar being one of the things that were rationed really quite heavily. The next thing it suggests is ½ teaspoon of flavouring. I'm actually going to go for a whole teaspoon in this because this isn't very expensive these days. For instance, this pot here was £1.25, which if you're going to have vanilla is really quite cheap. The final thing we need to add is 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Perfection. This is it. Our pudding mixture is now done. Now I don't know about you, but I've never made anything quite like this before. This is very strange. So let's give this a little mix up. So the moisture is going to come from the potato and the carrot rather than butter or oil, which we'd more traditionally use. Now, as promised, this is a jam sponge type thing. So what we actually need to do is put some jam in. Now what I've actually got here is some marmalade. I haven't got much jam in the cupboard, so in true make do and get on with it type fashion, we're just going to use some marmalade. There we are. Put 2 or 3 tablespoons of jam in a heated basin, run it around to cover the inside. Okay. So having been suitably run around, I think we'll just smoosh this about with our spoon. So we got our marmalade all smushed around the inside of our little tub here. And we're tipping our pudding mixture now. Again, this is looking really weird. This looks more like a hash brown type thing than any sort of dessert I've ever had. I mean, if nothing else, it's going to be cake shaped. The thing it says to do is put in the pudding mixture, tie on a cover of margarine paper. I don't know what margarine paper is, so I'm just going to go with some greaseproof paper and assume that it's fairly similar to margarine paper. There's our little disc of greaseproof paper. We'll just stick that on the top. I don't think it needs tying because I don't really know what we're going to be tying it to. There we are. That looks pretty decent. So now we've got to steam this for 2 hours. I'm not going to record that because I don't think anything interesting is going to happen. Okay, so our pudding has now had 2 hours in the saucepan, getting nice and steamy. So let's turn it out and see what it looks like. So this is what we've got. You see it? One foul swoop, do you reckon? Hoodosh! Okay. Hey!
It's so thin.
It smells really nice.
Yeah.
This feels like it's going to be dense.
Yeah. What's that, the white lumps in it?
Oh, there's breadcrumbs.
Oh.
There's breadcrumbs in it, but I didn't like grate the bread all that well.
So there's just lumps of bread.
Yeah. Do you want a bit?
No, you have the
Okay. Wow. Cheers, darling.
Cheers.
Here's to rations. Do you know what? I've eaten far worse things than that.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's an odd texture.
Mmm.
Not cakey.
No, it's not cakey. Potato, you can't take. It doesn't taste of potato. Then I suppose potato doesn't really taste of anything. It's quite sweet.
Yeah.
I quite like it, you know.
Yeah?
Mmm. Maybe if you put an apple in there, like apple chunks and some
Yeah.
sultana bits,
Yeah.
that'd be really nice. Just give it a bit more texture because it is just very sort of one-dimensionally.
Yeah.
It's one-dimensional texturally.
Yeah.
Good though,
Yeah.
I think. Would I make it again?
No.
Probably not. Unless I was like really hard up. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm not going to throw this away. Like, I will
No.
eat it.
Yeah, I don't think I
No.
will be.
Custard.
Yeah.
Be a nice cold days, like hearty dessert.
I was going to say cold custard. No, 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 no.
No. I think this is supposed to be served warm. World War II victory sponge. I'm not sure how victorious I feel, but it was nice. We'll do some more of these as time goes on because I really think learning about the history of food is fascinating. So, bye.